Thanks for joining me tonight. We're doing this month's live cook with me. If you are joining on the replay real quick, I do want to let you know that I do these every single month, the first Thursday of the month, and if you want to make sure you're here when they happen, then click that bell button so you'll have notifications on, because if you do want to be here, then that's the way to know when I'm going live. And we're gonna be waiting for people to get here a little bit. I know we already have a few people here already, so that's awesome. But tonight we are doing salad night, and I thought this would be a fun, quick, easy dinner to show you. So while we wait for some more people to come in and hang out, say hello, let me know where you're watching from, all that cool stuff. And I think I have everything I need here prepped, so we should be good to go on that. And I'll also have my tablet here to read your comments when I'm chopping, so that I can see what you're saying and you can see what I'm doing. So far I see we already have Josh. He says, hi Sarah, happy February. Happy February to you too. I hope you guys are getting a good start to your month. I said on Instagram, actually, when I was posting on my stories today, reminding people about the live stream, that this one kind of snuck up on me a little bit because the first day of the month is also the first Thursday. So it kind of, I was like, oh, whoa, that's happening. Okay, not like this morning, but a few days ago. So I don't know if it snuck up on you or not, but we're in February now, which is a little bit hard to believe. Let's see. Oh, Anna's here. Anna says, hi, Sarah. Hello. Good to see you. And just so y'all know, too, I got a new phone since the last time we did one of these. So this is my first time using the new phone to do this live stream. So, I mean, everything's pretty much the same. It's the same app, same process. But hopefully we don't have any crazy things happen. But if that does happen, that might be a factor. And we also have a cat having a sneeze attack in the background. I don't know if you can hear that. Okay, well, I guess we can go ahead and get started and start talking about food. Now, while we're doing the food stuff, you know, if you have any cooking questions or food questions or nutrition questions or whatever, I'm happy to answer those too while we're here. Just so you know, this live stream and the answers I give you and stuff, it's just for general information purposes. It's not here to, diagnose or treat or cure any condition. It's not a replacement for medical advice or, talking to a dietitian, but it's just for general information. So now that we got that out of the way, let's do some cooking. So for dinner tonight, we are doing salad night, like I said, and this is something that I like to do usually in like the fall and winter time, and then also in the spring, because it's just a really nice, quick dinner. And I think this is a good one if you have a night where you know you're not gonna have a lot of time, or something that you can kind of pull out of your back pocket if plans kind of go sideways and you need to pull something together, because most of the ingredients for this are things that at least I generally just always have on hand anyway, so it's easy to pull a salad together and make it happen quick. So for salad night, I like to put ours in mixing bowls. This one actually has like a little boo-boo. I put it on the oven one time. I think I probably had some ingredients in this, and I was gonna, using this to hold all my cabbage or something to tip into the pan, but it kind of got next to the burner and melted a little bit, but it still works, so we're still using it. And I like the mixing bowls because they're nice and big. It gives you plenty of room to be able to mix stuff around. Because when I'm eating a salad, I want to be able to move it around, mix everything together, make sure everything's incorporated, and not feel like I have to kind of pick around. So that's what we're doing, and I think that's the first tip if you're doing an entree salad, is make it big, because I think one thing with salads is people feel like they're not very filling, and that can be the case, but it's a lot about what you're putting in there and also the size of it. You want a big salad if you're making that your main meal. So to get our salad started, the first thing we are gonna do is put our lettuce in our dish. So here we go, and y'all are pretty quiet tonight. What's going on? Anything happening? What's the weather like where you are? What are you making for dinner? Y'all are more chatty usually. It's kind of surprising. Okay, so lettuce. I just got this spring mix. Obviously, you could use whatever you want. You could use arugula. You could get heads of lettuce and chop those up. I do that sometimes too, and that works well. But I'm just gonna take handfuls of this and fill it up in my bowls. And what I usually do, since we have two different sizes, is I take the smaller one, and Jason gets the larger one because I am a smaller person and he is a larger person than me. So that works out pretty well as far as about how much food we need. So I just fill mine up to the top, all the lettuce and greens and things. Pretty self-explanatory. I'll fill his up too, and then we'll start working on toppings. And I think one of the keys to having a salad that really is filling and satisfying is putting on all those toppings. If you just have something very plain or something that's just kind of raw vegetables, yeah, that's probably not going to be very filling, or might fill you up in the short term, but it's not going to be a meal that's really going to stick by you. You know, I think a lot of times with salads, people feel like, well, I got full, but then I was hungry again half an hour later. So, you know, we want to try to avoid that. So I've got his all filled up too. And now that we have our base, we can do our toppings. And let me know, I'd be interested to know how the sound is on this, for those of you who've watched my live streams before, how the video quality is with the new phone, because that might be different. I don't know if y'all can tell a difference or not, but if you can, I'd be interested to know that. I'm gonna get some water real quick. Okay. So, first topping I like to start with the kind of like more things that need to be chopped up. Actually, that reminds me, I have an onion in the freezer. Let me get that out. Okay, so that's one tip I do, is I put my onion in the freezer for a little bit. It helps so you don't cry when you cut it, and I find it to be pretty effective, so I did that. Hopefully it works. Okay, thanks. Josh says, sound and video quality are excellent. Good to know. Anna says, sound is good. I think vid quality is a little better than before. Good, that's what I was hoping. Good to know. You would hope when you get a new phone, it would be better than your phone that was 2.5 years old. Okay, so I'm gonna turn y'all facing down now so you can see me chopping and everything, and then we will talk more about what I'm doing. And yes, the Christmas tree is still up on February 1st. That's on the to-do list, but who doesn't want more Christmas cheer in their life? Okay, so we are turning downwards.
Maybe we should try with the living room light on as well. I think it looks, you look more white, I think. Looks washed out.
Oh, you think so?
But that might just be on my laptop screen. So
oh, okay. Well, we'll see. All right, y'all can see pretty well what I'm doing, I think. Let me just move this. Getting used to where the camera is on this thing and everything. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Oh, VWard21 says you can put your onion in water too. And Anna says, hi, Jason.
Hi.
He says hi back. That's a good tip. Also, another thing you can do is pour vinegar on your cutting board, and then when you cut it, you put the cut side in the vinegar before you start chopping, and that neutralizes those compounds in there that can make you cry, so that's another good tip. Okay, so we're going to cut up this onion, and this will be a good onion chopping lesson. So, when you're cutting up your onion, first thing you want to do, cut off the top. We got that. Then we are going to take it and cut it in half from top to bottom. So now we have two nice halves, and this is going to give us a nice flat surface to work with. Josh says, is it harder to chop the onion after it's been frozen? So no, this isn't like, I didn't put this in the freezer like hours ago. I just put it in like 10 minutes before I hopped on here with y'all. So it's been in there like maybe 10, 20 minutes. Usually when I'm cooking, it's less time than that. It's just kind of putting in there for maybe 5-10 minutes. So it's still easy to cut, but it seems to help just that little bit. Okay, so I'm going to use half of the onion for our two salads. So we've got it cut in half. Then you run your knife parallel to the cutting board. Also, having a sharp knife is a good thing too for preventing the tears and also for preventing you getting cut. If you want to see the knives I use, this is the one I like. I have it linked in my store, and that's linked in the description of the video. So if you are looking for a new knife, you can see the ones that I like. And of course, there's other things in there, books and different stuff that I like, if you want to check that stuff out. Okay, so we cut across parallel, then cut across the other way, perpendicular, so you will get nice, even pieces. Then, you know, you want to tuck your fingers under, and you cut across. And so when you do this, this gives you nice, even, uniform pieces. Also, the onion isn't rolling all around, so you're not going to cut yourself. And this is good for any time you want to cut an onion and you need to do a dice, because those even pieces are good just so, you know, when you're eating, the pieces are even, but also if you were cooking this, that they would cook at the same rate. And then, you know, you just have a little nubbin left at the end that can go in your compost, or I'll put it in my freezer to use when I make broth some other time. So I've got half my onion cut up, and I'm going to not drop the knife on the floor, and I'm going to put this in our salad bowls over here on the side. And obviously you could do more or less onion if you wanted to, but Jason and I are pretty big onion fans. So this is the amount that we like, and then I'll just save that other half because in our house what we do is have leftovers for lunch pretty much every day. So the other half I'll cut up later and put that in Jason's salad for his lunch tomorrow and have it in my salad for my lunch tomorrow. Okay, so we got the onions cut up and my eyes are only watering a little bit, so I think that's a success because I don't want to cry on the live stream. Okay, I'm going to rinse my fingers off real quick and toss these peels and stuff to the side, and then we will move on to other things. So I'm just going to run over to the sink. Okay, and let's see, I'm back. Let's see what else y'all are saying. One Powerful Force says she looks washed out on my screen too, also a laptop. Okay, that's good to know. Okay.
Some as you go.
Huh?
I might play with it some as you go.
Okay, so Jason might be doing experiments in the background so we can get the best quality on these things. And then Josh says you cut the core off. So yeah, the little end piece, that's at the end when I was, so, you know, on this piece if I peeled it. You're keeping the core here and that's keeping everything held together. And then you go across the little nubbin and then you can just, you know, compost or toss that or whatever when you're done. Okay, so we've got that. Next thing we're going to put in is a pear. Now, I like to have fruit in my salads. It's nice to have some sort of sweetness in there to go along with the savory and all the other flavors you have going on. Pears are great, apples are great, you know, strawberries are great. Any kind of berries really can be really, really good. You can do peaches. You really have lots of options. So whatever you like or whatever is available or sounds good. And I'm going to do, I only got one pear out. I think I'm going to do half for each of us. These are on a little bit on the smaller side, but I can always add more later if we feel like we want more. So I'm quartering these, and then I'm going to cut out the core. There's a little bit more left in there. So we'll just kind of get that out. Okay. And this is actually the first bunch of pears that I've gotten this year. We had some apples in there that we were eating on, but they ran out, and I saw these at the store this week, and I thought they looked really good. Okay, so I've got them quartered. Then I'm going to cut them in half, cut each quarter in half, and then just go across. And so these will give us nice, you know, good-sized chunks that are bite-sized, you know, you can, but, you know, substantial enough that you can get them on your fork. And that actually, it doesn't look like too much. I might end up doing, well, no, we still have the other half, that's right. Okay, so I'm going to pop this in my salad bowl over here, and we'll go on to Jason's. Let me check your comments. Josh says, knife tip, never try to catch a falling knife. Yeah, that's a good one. We do not want anyone getting hurt. And then VWard21 says, where do you grocery shop? So I grocery shop at technically 3 different places, I guess. So when it's farmer's market season and gardening season, I obviously get a lot of stuff out of the garden and I go to the farmer's market. That's kind of my first stop where I get everything I can, are those 2 places, the garden and then the farmer's market. And then if the farmer's market isn't in season, then obviously I skip that one. But either way, then the next place I go is just a local grocery. So that's nice because it's a small shop, you know, and it's run by, you know, just a family, a couple people, and they carry a lot of local and regional items. So that's where I'll get like my milk and my eggs and certain cheeses. And it's also nice because they have some local meats there. So, you know, if there is something that I can't get at my farmer's market or when the farmer's market isn't in season, then I can go there and get stuff. And then I finish off my trip at Wegmans. And I know not everyone has a Wegmans. We got ours semi-recently, a few years ago now. And it's a little bit of a drive for me. But I like Wegmans because they do have so many more options as far as just different products, different items, spices, everything. I really like it. So it's a nice place to go, and just produce. All their produce is great. So I'm a happy Wegmans shopper. So I've got the pear all chopped up. I'm going to chop this into Jason's salad bowl. And then we will have our pear in there. We'll be ready to move on to the next thing. Let me look at your comments real quick. Okay. Oh, Anna says that she loves and misses Wegmans. Yes, Wegmans is one of those places that everyone seems to really like. And they're nice too because they're reasonable prices on things, and they have like regular stuff too. It's not like a specialty store where everything's super expensive and you can't just buy regular grocery items that you would find in any other store. Okay, so next question and next thing we're gonna do is cut up this avocado. And I'm gonna put half an avocado in each of our salads. We'll get our sticker off first. And next question is, how do you tell what produce looks good and what is best avoided? It really just depends on each item. Let me get this pear core in the compost bin. It really depends on each item. It's just, everything's different as far as how you tell if it's ripe or whatever. So I think it just depends. It's kind of about learning about each thing. If you have a specific produce item, then I could tell you about that. But everything is different. And it's kind of one of those things you kind of learn by experience too. What am I doing? Let me think before I start chopping. Okay, so we're doing half of these avocados in each salad. So I'm just going to score across. Now when you're doing this, obviously you want to be careful. Do not cut through to your hand. This is anytime you're cutting directly into your hand, this is very dangerous. So you don't want to cut right into your hand. But I like to do it this way, so then we just have like nice uniform cubes. But yeah, with produce, a lot of it's experience too. If you get something that's not great, then let's not do that. I do think one problem we have though is wanting perfect produce or everything to be pretty. Something can have, not look cute, but it can be delicious and fine and good to eat. So, just because something isn't the prettiest one doesn't mean it's not a good one to buy. Okay, so we've got our avocados kind of scored across, you can see in there. And then I'm going to put that in the salad bowl. So I don't know if this is too close on the camera. It might be. Oh, no, that's pretty good. Okay, so I'm just kind of squeezing the peel, and then you can see all the avocado chunks are coming out like that. And, I arrange the things in my salad bowl in kind of piles like this because I think it looks really pretty and nice to kind of be able to see each item and see everything that you have in there. It's also good for Instagram pictures, not gonna lie. Obviously, you don't have to do it this way. You can just throw everything on top. But for looking good, I think that's a nice way to do it. Okay, so we've got that one. And then also, I'm gonna put Jason's avocado in his salad. And if you're doing salad for a lot of people, I think another good way to do this is to kind of make a salad bar in your house. Put up, a bunch of these different items, just kind of chop them up and let people pick what they want to put on there because it's just me and Jason. We like pretty much all the same things with a few exceptions, and it's not that big of a deal for me to make both of our salads, but, if I was cooking for more people, I would not prepare everyone's salad individually like this. Okay, so that's out of the way. I'm going to go rinse my hands again because they're covered in avocado. And then we will move on to the next thing. And move on to more comments and questions. Okay. Oh, Cats and Pats, which is Jason. If you didn't know, that's his channel where he has all kinds of fun cat things. So go over there if you want tips and tricks and stuff for taking care of your furry friends at home. Cats and Pat says, why do you hold the avocado in your palm rather than with your fingers on the cutting board? It's just an easy way to cut it. If you're worried about cutting yourself, you could scoop out that avocado half and kind of like cut it across on the cutting board. That would be a safer way to do it, but I like the convenience of cutting in the peel and scoring it. Okay, so next thing we're going to do, let's do some cilantro. So I think adding fresh herbs to your salad is a great idea. Basil is great in salads. You can do all kinds of things, whatever you like. But right now we have cilantro, so I just got a bunch here, and we're going to go ahead and chop this up. So I cut off the end stems. I'll put those in my stock bag in the freezer to make stock later on. But what I like to do is I kind of get a big section like this, and then I fold it in half.
Feel them too.
Yeah, I see. Okay, so fold it in half, and then just run the knife across. And I find this is a pretty good way to do it. And this is something to know about cilantro. Sometimes people think that you need to pick off each individual leaf. You don't have to do that. The stems are edible with cilantro. So you can totally eat the stems. Go ahead and just run your knife through it. It's not like something like rosemary where the stem is very woody. It's like a stick, which you wouldn't want to eat. But with cilantro, you can eat it. So why not? And it's way faster than trying to pick off each leaf and being precious about it. Just run your knife through there. Okay, so that's pretty good and chopped up. And then I'm just going to toss this on our salad as well. Just a nice little scoop. And herbs, fresh herbs, really adds a lot to the flavor of your salad. Cilantro is great, and like I said, basil is another favorite of mine, especially if you have strawberries and basil. That's a really good combination. So I'm just going to toss that in with everything else in each of our salad bowls. I'll scoop all this up. Okay, so that's that. Put that in Jason's. Rinse my fingers again. I really need a sink next to my live streaming area because I wash my hands a lot during these. Wait 1 second. Okay. We're all rinsed up. And now I'm going to turn the camera to face straight up again so I can see you. Well, I guess I can't see you, but you can see my face. Sorry. Wait 1 second. Try to get us somewhat level here. All right, that's pretty good. Okay, so that's everything I think we need to chop, but we still have a lot more toppings, and y'all still have more questions. So let me go on to the next one. Jesus Laura says, what are some tips for drinking more water? That's a good question. I think just having it around and available is a good one. Like, I have my water right here. Also, jazzing it up flavor-wise, like if you want to add in some fresh herbs or a squeeze of lemon juice or orange or grapefruit, or, you know, in the springtime, throwing some strawberries in there, in the summer, some blackberries or something, just to add a little flair. Also, Jason turned on a light behind me. Let me know if I look less washed out now. That would be good to know. But yeah, so jazzing it up I think is good, and just making sure it's around and available. Also, if the water, I don't know what kind of water you have, but if like you're on city or county water and it doesn't taste that great to you, having a filter to improve the flavor, that can help too. Those are some tips, some things that you might want to try. So let's see. Next question. Josh says, if you're cooking for one and end up with half an avocado, how do you save the other half without it browning? I just put it in a container in the fridge. I try to keep the half that has the pit as the one that I'm going to save. So like tonight when I make the rest of the stuff for Jason to pack in his lunch, then he's going to have half an avocado and the other half's going to be left for me to use for my lunch. I'll save the half that has the pit still in it because you're covering up that surface area. So that helps. You know, putting it in a container, maybe wrapping it in plastic. I don't have any super magic tricks though, and that's probably because I just end up eating it pretty quickly. I think that's the best thing, is just plain to have it like the next day. Because other than regular things of just like putting it in an airtight container and doing all those basic things, I don't know of anything else. You know, some people say put it in water and all that kind of stuff. You can try that stuff, and it might help. But I don't have personal experience with that, so I can't speak to that. But plan to eat it quickly, I think, is the best thing. Let's see what else. Stephanie Renee says, is that dark spot on the avocado okay? I thought it had to be discarded. Okay, so when I was cutting the avocado, there's a little dot. You probably could cut that off, but it's like, it's not gonna hurt you. I don't know. I'm pretty, eat the stuff that kind of looks bad. I don't know if that makes sense. You know, like, there's things that are cosmetic, like if there was a big chunk that was like super like gray, brown, black, yeah, I would cut that out. But since it's just a little thing, it just kind of seems like not worth it. It's not going to affect anything. It's not going to hurt me. Same thing with bananas. Like I will eat a banana that has all kinds of brown spots and everything because there's nothing wrong with it. It's not going to hurt you. You know, you don't want to eat stuff that's going to make you sick, obviously, but like a little thing like that isn't a big deal. Now, if you want to, by all means, you know, go ahead. It's whatever. But to me, I'm just kind of like, I'm not going to fuss with it. It doesn't really matter that much. Stephanie also says, I do not know a lot about cooking and produce though. Yeah, I think part of it's personal preference and part of it is experience. But yeah, now you know. That little bit isn't going to hurt you, and it's not going to taste like anything because it's so small. Aurelio Romero says, which I hope I'm saying your name right, damp cloth under the cutting board will hold it steady. That is a great tip and not something that I ever do, but it's probably something that I should do. So thanks for sharing that. Because as y'all can see, mine is rocking around a little bit, but if you do put a damp cloth under there, it kind of stabilizes you, which is another tip to also not cut yourself. Josh says, thanks, Sarah. Can you freeze avocado? I've never tried. I don't have like a clear-cut yes-no answer. I would think it could be possible, especially if you're using it for like guacamole or something. You're gonna mash it up anyways. I don't know if it'll start to change color at all after it's frozen, but I don't know. I've never tried, and I've never had a reason to. But it might work, so maybe try it and let us know. Oh, One Powerful 4 says, I freeze guacamole all the time, so I would assume so. Okay, so at least mashed up it works. I don't know if you want it whole, like for good texture-wise, if it would, you know, afterwards not be very good for like putting on a salad, but if you're gonna mash it up or already have it mashed, then that would probably work. And One Powerful 4 says that theirs doesn't like get weird colors, so that's good to know. And VWard21 says, my coworker freezes hers all the time. Thanks, y'all. Y'all are so helpful. That's awesome. Okay. All right, so we're caught up on comments. Feel free to leave more. We're gonna move on to more salad things though. So next thing I'm gonna put in here, this is just for mine. Oh, hey, Honeybee says, OMG, I love you. I watch all your videos. I love you too, Honeybee. Thanks for being here. It's awesome, and thanks for watching the videos. I really appreciate the support, and I'm glad that you're enjoying them. And they say, I'm your #1 fan. Well, thanks. I'm gonna send some love your way. And Josh says thanks as well. Okay, awesome. Next thing, olives. I got these from the Olive Bar. I like olives a lot. Jason, not a fan. So these are just gonna go on my salad. And this is, these are already pitted. I've done one with pits before. It's just a little bit more of a hassle because you have to make sure that you don't swallow a pit, but I'm just gonna put some of these in my salad. And these are good because it's adding more flavor, so it's more satisfying. But also, these are a little fattier, so that's nice. So that's gonna make it satisfying too. And this next segment of toppings, how many olives do I want? Maybe we'll add, maybe like 2 more. Okay, this next section of toppings that we're gonna talk about, this is the stuff that actually makes your salad feel substantial and fill you up. So I'm gonna rinse my fingers off again real quick. Because so far we have like a lot of non-starchy vegetables and a little bit of apple. We do have the avocado too. So that's good because that has fat as well to be filling. So those are both, the avocado and the olives help with that. Josh says, do olives have a lot of sodium? They are a lot of times in a brine, so they are going to be a saltier food. That doesn't mean you can't have them. It's not like, you know, I'm eating bags and bags of olives. It's like, I don't know, 8 or 9 olives in there. And just with like sodium and salt in general, if you're cooking a lot on your own and you're just salting your food to taste, you're probably going to be fine as far as the amount. And also, a lot of times, this is something weird that's kind of happened where there are these guidelines for people who already have high blood pressure, things they can do, you know, reducing their sodium, like keep it in this range to help bring your blood pressure down. But somehow, people have gotten kind of overzealous with that, and they're like, no, everyone should just do that. There isn't really good science to back that up, and actually going too low on your sodium can also be really bad for you because we need sodium. It's essential, and if you don't have enough, that's not good for you either. So I feel like there's been kind of this like scaring people about sodium. Obviously you don't want too much, but you need some anyway. So olives are in there. The next thing we are going to do is cheese. And again, here you have a few different options. So for myself, I'm going to do some blue cheese. I love blue cheese. I always have, even when I was little and like didn't like cheese and refused to eat any kind of cheese, I still like blue cheese. So that is what's gonna go in my salad. And this is a cheese that I've been enjoying. It's from Point Reyes Creamery. They're out in California. I don't know, I saw them at Wegmans. Wegmans has a very large cheese selection. I saw this one at Wegmans and I really like it because not all blue cheeses taste the same either, but this is one that I've tried and I've really been enjoying. So I'm just gonna crumble this down here with a fork and let me know, I'd be interested to know if y'all are fans of blue cheese or not. Because I feel like it's one of those things that's, I don't want to say controversial, but I feel kind of, and same with olives. Do you like olives? So I feel like blue cheese and olives are two foods where people are very strongly either they really like it or they don't. I guess same thing with cilantro too. I have a lot of controversial foods in this salad. Okay, so I'm just crumbling up my blue cheese. And this is gonna add some protein and some fat, so that's another thing, and flavor. So that's another thing that's gonna help make this salad more satisfying and more filling. So there we go. I don't know if you can really see. I just got a little bit there crumbled. I'm gonna toss that in the salad bowl. Try to do it without making a huge mess. That is the one thing about the blue cheese is it's a little bit messy to crumble. You can buy it pre-crumbled, but I don't know. I just like getting the block. Plus, when you get the block, you have more options as far as what you can buy. Okay, so we've got that in there. I will call that good. I'm gonna go ahead and put that fork in my salad bowl. So that's what's going in my salad, and then we'll move on to Jason's. But I need to rinse my fingers real quick, and I saw that y'all had some more questions, so we will talk about that as well. Okay. All right, so fingers are rinsed. Now we're gonna move on to Jason's cheese for his salad. So I saw a couple things come through. I can look at it on here right now. Okay, VWard21 says that they love blue cheese. Stephanie, not a fan, but Stephanie loves feta. Well, Stephanie, you're really gonna like what's coming up next then. And Josh says, I like blue cheese, not so much into olives, but I'm trying to acquire a taste for them. Cool, cool. And then someone else asked in all that, oh, Josh, are there healthier and less healthier cheeses? I mean, there are cheeses, whoa, okay. There are cheeses that have different stuff going on, like some cheeses, like harder cheeses, are gonna be a little bit higher in calories just because they're more dense, they have less water in them. I don't think that matters too much because your body's pretty good at just knowing like, oh, this has more energy in it. It also makes me feel more full. So that's not a big deal. And I don't really rank cheeses in my mind, I guess, as far as healthier or not healthier. To me, it's more about flavor and application. So if you're making pizza, you're gonna want some mozzarella. You want something that melts well and it's got the flavor you want. If you're, you know, doing, I don't know, let's say with the salad, you know, you wouldn't really want a great Parmesan on your salad unless you were doing it like with the Caesar salad. I guess you do the shavings, that's good. But for salad, I think more you want like maybe some of the softer cheeses. Maybe that's just the flavors that I like. I don't know, I think it just depends on application. Sometimes you want a cheese that melts really well. Sometimes you want a cheese that has a lot of moisture, doesn't have a lot of moisture. I would focus more on what flavors you enjoy and also how you're using it and what is gonna work best for how you're cooking. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier when Stephanie commented about feta, this is what we are using for Jason's salad. I also love feta, but I went with the blue cheese. We're gonna do feta and Jason's salad. This is feta, plain feta in a block in brine. You can also get the crumbles and stuff. I just get the block because it is cheaper at Wegmans to get the block and it's the same product. So I'm down for paying less money for the same thing. That's good by me. So I've already taken the block other times when I've used it and just broken it up into slices. So let me show you, we've got a hunk here. I might do a little bit more than this, but I'm gonna go ahead and crumble this over into Jason's salad. And I think we could do a little bit more than that. So this was one like big cube, but then yeah, I went through when I first bought it, the first time I used it, and made these little slices. And this is good too in the block if you wanna do like a Greek salad with like a hunk of feta and some cucumbers and tomatoes and onions and oregano and olive oil and stuff like that. And that would be this kind of thing. Sorry, I'm trying to look at y'all and crumble this into the bowl. So you're getting a real close-up look at my face right now. All right, so we've got the feta in there. I'm gonna rinse my hands again, and then we'll move on to the next thing. Okay, so cheese is done, and now we're going to move on to our next topping, which is some tuna. And this is gonna be the protein for our salad. Again, you can do whatever you like, but canned tuna works well for us. I also like canned sardines. Those are really good. I feel like they're one of those foods that people think, sardines, gross, but they might not have ever even had sardines before. Just one of those foods that has a bad rep for whatever. They do taste fishy, definitely, but if you like seafood, then you might like sardines. So, something to try, you know, and they're good and fun. It's just a way to switch things up. We're doing tuna. I'm gonna split this can between the two of us. This is from Wild Planet, which sources their seafood more sustainably. So I like that. Anna says that she loves feta too. Greek salad's one of her faves. And Cats and Pats asked, what are those weird leaf wrap things that you like? Haha, yes. In addition to the olives, I also like stuffed grape leaves that have like the rice in there and they're rolled up, and they have them on the Wegmans salad bar. So I kind of realized this a few weeks ago and I was like, hey, I'm gonna start buying these because I like them and they're fun. I've never made them myself, which I would think, well, actually I had a friend tell me that's really easy. Obviously it just takes some time, but it's not hard to do. But the ones on the Wegmans salad bar have been doing the job so far. So I'm just gonna split this can between us. I'll probably give Jason a little bit more because he needs more food than I do typically. And then I'm just gonna put this in, and I put all the water, this is packed in water, so I put all the water and everything in there too. I think it's just more flavor, a little more moisture, and why not? So I'm gonna toss this into our salads. Let me bring, you know what would be smart? If I brought the salad bowls over here so I didn't have to reach over every time. Huh, great idea. Okay, it only took me how many toppings to realize that? Okay, so I've got my tuna in there. And surprisingly enough, I don't have 3 cats trying to get this tuna right now. They are pretty good with food though. They don't really beg for stuff. Like sometimes when I open a can of tuna, they do think that it's wet food, but no one's really coming around right now. Okay, so we've got the tuna in there. Now, I think we've got all of our toppings. The next thing we're gonna do is make our salad dressing. So this will be good because y'all can kind of see how I make dressing. Now, let me know before we get started on this, do you already make your own dressing? Do you feel like you know how to do that, or do you have any questions about that? Just so I kind of have a feel for how experienced y'all are with this, or whether this is something you do all the time, and I don't, you don't need to hear me explain it because you already know it. And while y'all are typing that, Josh said, do you add mayo to your tuna? Have any suggestions for a healthier tuna salad without mayo? So for salads, I usually just do it plain. I don't usually make tuna salad, but I do like making tuna salad. We actually had that for dinner a couple nights ago when I didn't feel like making dinner. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna take a can of tuna, mash it up, and we kind of did like a snacky dinner where we had some crackers and we grabbed some cheeses out of the fridge, and I cut up like some carrots and celery, and I peeled a couple oranges, and we just kind of had this like snacky, a bunch of different stuff, and kind of pick and whatever. I would say if you like tuna salad with the mayonnaise, just have it with the mayonnaise. If you wanted a different alternative, avocado is really good. I've done that before when I haven't had mayo around. So, you can do as much or as little as you want. Depends on how creamy you like it. I find for myself, a lot of times if I get tuna salad other places, there's like way too much mayo in there. It's just like too much. I just personally don't like it that way. So however much avocado you want, same thing, however kind of creamy or not you like it, and just mash that in. And that can be a really good option instead of mayo. As far as mayo goes, I think if you want to look for better quality brands, that's definitely great. The one that I use right now is from Chosen Foods. I don't know if I have that in my shop right now or not, but if you want to look, it might be over there. That's linked in the description. The link to go over and see that stuff. I don't know if it's in there right now or not. If not, I'll definitely add it when I get off of here. But that's a good one that I like and I think tastes pretty good. You can also make your own mayo if you want to do that. That can be fun too. And Stephanie says, are you just eating salad for dinner? I have trouble feeling full from just cold food. I wish I could change that. We will talk about that. Yes and no, but we'll talk more about I've mentioned some things with the, things to make it more filling, but we'll talk more about that too. And Josh says, typically for salad dressing, do oil and vinegar, maybe mustard, spices, always separately though. Okay, all right, so let's talk salad dressings, because none of y'all have said that you're a salad dressing master, at least by your own estimation. So I like to make my salad dressing in a mason jar because it's easy, because you can just shake it up. Now, tonight I'm gonna be making a balsamic vinaigrette. That's the one I make the most often. I like it, I think it tastes good, but I'll explain some other options as we go through this. I'm burping, excuse me. Okay, so first thing we're gonna put in there is some oil. I'm using Casandrino's olive oil. This is also linked in my store. So if you want to see this, you can go over there and find it there too. This is an olive oil I like. It tastes really good. It's good quality stuff. So if you want to try something new, this is a good one, and you can get it in jars or you can get it in big tins, which is what I do. I get the big tins and then just refill my bottle because that's a little bit more affordable. So as far as the amount, it really depends on how much you like, how much you want to make total dressing wise, and how much you like on your salad. But I'm just going to pour some and just kind of eyeball it here into my jar. And if we have extra left over, not a big deal, because Jason is going to need some for his lunch tomorrow. I'm going to need some, and then I'm sure we'll need some later on, in a few days when we have a side salad or something with dinner. The next thing you're going to add in is your vinegar. So this is balsamic vinegar, and I'm actually almost out, so I need to buy more of this. And I do about equal parts oil to vinegar. Now, you can obviously shift that up. Some people like to do more oil or more vinegar. Part of it depends on like just your preference-wise, but I do about equal. Let's see if we have enough vinegar for that. I think we're going to use all of this vinegar up, but it's going to be just about the right amount. Okay, so we've got that in there. And I saw someone asked, oh, Christine said, do you have to acquire the taste of balsamic vinaigrette? I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you've ever had it or not. I kind of liked it from the get-go the first time I ever had it. It's kind of like sweet, and I like that, and I really like vinegar in general. But like, if you don't like balsamic vinegar, it's not a required food. There aren't any required foods. So if you're not into it, then don't worry about it. Use something else. As far as other things you could do, so I've got my balsamic in here, but other things that you could do, it's really just any kind of acid. So you could use apple cider vinegar, you could use red wine vinegar. I do that more often than maybe some of the other things, not as often as this, but red wine vinegar is good. You could do like a white wine or champagne vinegar. You could do lemon juice is an acid you can use. If you like lemon, I think that's really good. I actually did that the other day for a side salad I was having. And yeah, it's just some sort of acid for a vinaigrette. So you can switch it around and do whatever you like. And then the next thing for your vinaigrette that you want is some Dijon mustard. And this is important because this helps keep your salad dressing together, keeps it emulsified. So, you know, we have oil and vinegar. You might be able to see on camera with this. They're separated, right? Because they don't want to hang out together. And you can shake it up and they'll be together a little bit, but then they'll separate again. So the Dijon mustard acts as an emulsifier and keeps it all together. So you just need like a little dollop, and I've got it all over my fingers, but I will just scrape it on the jar and wipe it on a cloth over here. So a little dollop of Dijon, and that's like the basic. That's all I'm gonna do tonight, but this is kind of your starting point. Oil and vinegar, some other acid, and then some Dijon mustard. Then from there you can add other things. If you wanted to sweeten it up, you could add some maple syrup or some honey or some fig jam or strawberry preserves or whatever. You could add in spices and herbs. So if you have rosemary, or if you had some basil or mint or oregano or dill or whatever you like, you can put that in here. Garlic could be good. You can add in a pinch of salt and pepper if you want to do that. So this is kind of just your basic, this is what you need. And then from there you can be totally creative. You can add in other things that you like and switch it up also depending on what's in your salad. That might determine, you know, if you want one thing over the other. But once you've got everything in your jar that you're gonna use, then you can just give it a little shimmy shake. And this is way easier than, you know, getting out a whisk or whatever. This is also a great thing for kids. You know, if you have kids, and it's a good thing to teach them how to cook because they're gonna have to know how to do it eventually. This is a great thing that any kid of any age can do, and it's really easy. Just put it in the jar form, tighten the lid, and then they can sit there and shake up your dressing. Okay, so I've shaken this way more for demonstration purposes than is actually necessary, but you can see we're all shaken up now. So now I'm gonna pour this over our salads, and we'll see. I just, again, eyeball this. If we need more, we can get more. If I need to make more, we can make more. Well, we're gonna have to make something else though, because I just used up all the balsamic vinegar. So I might be having a lemon vinaigrette for my lunch tomorrow. Actually, I'll just use all of this. I'll have to figure out something for Jason's lunch too. Okay, so we've got the dressing on there. And I think one thing that a lot of people don't know about dressing, or that is important to know, is a lot of people want to try, I don't know if people do this as much anymore, but especially when the low-fat craze was a big thing, people, you know, would try to get low-fat or non-fat dressings, or just put vinegar on their salad and no oil. But having fat with your salad is a really important part of it being filling and satisfying. So what we've been talking about this whole time, having a salad that actually sticks by you. So having the fat from the dressing, but you know, also having things like avocado, nuts and seeds, the fish, the cheese, anything like that. So it's important for that, but it's also just important for absorbing the nutrients in your salad. So certain vitamins, vitamins A, D, E, and K, are fat soluble, which means that we need fat to absorb them. And if you don't have fat with your salad, then you're not going to absorb much of it, and it's just going to go right through. So just for good nutrition too, as well as good flavor and having something that's actually satisfying to eat, having some fat in there in the form of your dressing, it's a great way to do it. That makes a big difference for all of those things. All right, I saw a few more comments come up. Let me do this on here because when I touch this, I end up moving the camera, and I feel like we're doing shaky cam. Okay. Josh says, how soon do you have to use opened bottle of olive oil before it loses its potency? I don't know if there's a timeline on that, like that I could give you, within this amount of time. The big thing is when you're getting olive oil, you want to make sure that it is good quality. If you want to see on your bottle the date that it was produced. So sometimes they'll have bottle dates, but you don't know if that oil's just been sitting around for forever. So you want to be able to see, when it was produced. And if the smell test is the best way to go. So I use olive oil all the time, whether it's in salad dressings or roasting vegetables or cooking different things. But, with this or any other nuts and seeds, other oils, smell it. And if it smells rancid, that's not good oil. You don't want to be eating that. That is past its prime. Now, if you've never smelled rancid oil before, I feel like most people have at one time or another. You have something and you open up, it's like, oof, no, that's not good anymore. But if you haven't, I don't know how to describe it to you. That was actually one of my first nutrition classes, like one of the first things one of my professors taught us. She was like, this is a bottle of rancid oil. Pass it around the room. Everyone needs to know what this smells like. And that class, because it was lower level, I was like the only dietetics major in there. It was mostly like kinesiology majors and nursing majors, people who just had to have like a basic nutrition course for their major. So she was like, if there's one thing you get out of this, I know most of you aren't going to be dietitians, but everyone needs to know what this smells like just for yourself and your cooking and all of that. So that's the main thing, is not having rancid oil. Josh asks, well, actually, let me move on to the next one, then I'll come back to you, Josh. Anna says, we made a really good balsamic vinaigrette one time with shallots in it and use it to dress roasted beets and onions. So yummy. That sounds really yummy. And yeah, shallots, that's another great thing to add to dressing. So thanks for bringing that up. Sounds wonderful. So Josh asks, do you ever add starch to salads for satiety if you need more carbs? And that brings me to the next part of our meal, which is right over here. Great question. Y'all are like on the ball today with this. Y'all can make this video for me next time because y'all seem to know everything I'm going to say. This is also what we're going to have with our meal. So let's review. In our salad, we have the pear, which is giving us a little bit of carbs. We have the avocado and the cheese, which are giving us fat, and the cheese also giving some protein. The tuna is giving some fat and protein, and then we have our dressing, which has some fat. So all of that stuff helps us to feel more full because fat and protein are just super important for that. But the other thing is having some sort of carbohydrate. And yes, the pear is a source, and in the past I have just done just this salad, but I found that we were never full when we would just eat the salad because it really didn't have enough to it. So what I like to do is a slice of this. This has been like my obsession right now. This is from Wegmans as well, from their bakery. This is their rosemary sourdough. And I talked about this in a few videos. If you saw my last What I Eat in a Day video, it was in there. If you saw my foods I'm loving right now video from a few weeks ago, it was in there too. This is really good stuff. And Jason is a big rosemary fan especially, and we've been really liking this. So with this, I'm also gonna cut off a slice or two of this for each of us and put that in the toaster because it's important to have with any meal or snack to feel full, to feel satisfied, carbs, fat, and protein, some sort of fiber thing in there too. And if you have all those things, that's a good starting point to make sure you're kind of getting all the different pieces of the puzzle in there. Now, if you didn't want to do the sourdough, you can do other things to add some carbs to your meal. So, if you had like some boiled potatoes, that could be good. You could put in a scoop of quinoa or rice. You could put in, what's another like carby thing? Let me know if y'all have any ideas. Quinoa, I think, is a good one. You could put in, you could have a roll on the side. corn, that would be a good one that you could put in there. If you wanted to add in some beans, that would also add in some more starch. So those are a few different things that you can add in with your salad. I would encourage you to make sure that you're having that carb component in there too, so you're kind of hitting all of those points. So it's all those things together, having some sort of carb, having the fat, having the protein, and then having your fibrous fruits and vegetables in there to really have that satisfying meal, and also making sure you're adding in those flavors. Having things like the olives or the fresh herbs, or, you know, with your dressing, putting herbs in there, the shallots like Anna mentioned, garlic, onion, all that kind of stuff to just amp up the flavor. Now, I know Stephanie also asked in this regard, you know, about feeling full. We've talked about a lot of this, but she also mentioned that she doesn't really enjoy cold food. She wants something warm. Totally fine if, like, this just doesn't seem like, if you want something warm. Now, doing the bread and toasting that is a warm thing to put in there, but I say go for it. I mean, if you want to have a soup with your salad, that's kind of a classic combination. Don't feel like you, just because I'm eating this, that you have to eat this. I think especially a lot of people are trying to eat healthy, kind of maybe go overboard on the salads. Like, you don't just have to eat salad. There are other things in life. I'm not eating this because it's like, oh, this is the healthy thing. I'm eating it because it tastes good and it has a lot of stuff in here that I like. And yes, I also get a lot of vegetables with it, which is really great too. And it's a quick, easy dinner to make. Oh, another thing you could put in there is some sort of pasta. Could be good for another carby thing. And if you need some inspiration, you know, I hope this video will give you some, but also do, you know, some exploring yourself. Look at restaurant menus. See what's in their salads, you know. Some restaurants, their salads are kind of boring, but if you go to a place that has good salads, see what kind of flavors they're mixing together, what kind of things they're adding in their salads that maybe you haven't thought of, because that can give you some ideas and some inspiration too for things to incorporate at home in your own cooking. Christine Dahlman said, I do warm salads. I will make a salad and then put it on the stovetop. So good if I'm in the mood for something warm. And Anna says, if you want something warm, you could do grilled chicken salad or have a baked potato on the side. If you don't want soup or meat, that's a good one too. Yeah, so pairing it with other things, I think a main salad can be really good, but it doesn't have to be. So another thing that you can do too is, I totally lost my train of thought, y'all. Warm things. Oh, remember that salad doesn't mean raw vegetables. Salad is just any kind of stuff mixed together that you generally can eat cold. So that's why tuna salad is salad, pasta salad is salad, fruit salad is salad. It's just chopping up a bunch of stuff and mixing it together. So, you know, for what that's worth as far as definitions of words go. I don't know if that's really has anything to do with what we're talking about, but it is true. So I guess we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna chop up this bread and we're gonna have dinner. But it's been really great talking to you. Josh just hopped in and say, what are we cooking? We just made some salads. I'm sorry you missed it, but once this video processes, it'll be up and you can watch the replay. Simon said, what would you have with egg and beans? You could add an egg to your salad. That could be good too. But yeah, I'm actually hopping off. I know there are some people hopping on right now, but the replay will be up soon. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great evening, and I hope that you enjoy your lunch or dinner or breakfast or whatever time of day it is where you are. But yeah, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.